Out to walk-ons for another beautiful Thursday evening here. I am Doug Gann alongside of head coach Thomas BACHMAN, and we're joined on the show tonight by my man Nick Magnano, who joins us from the booth, and great to have him in here. Coach, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Another Thursday night.
Let me get you back turned up again. There, how's that?
Glad to be here. Another Thursday night.
So it wasn't you talking; it was me hearing. That's I get that. I get that a lot. Yeah, Thursday, and Nick, welcome on. This is you get in the you like a starter. You didn't come in out of the bullpen this time.
I tell you, I've been trying to prepare. Hopefully I'm ready for tonight.
Well, I think you will be, and we're ready to talk a lot of Trojan football tonight, and something big happening along the way. We're getting ready for Turf Day tomorrow. It's finally here. You know, we were on the road last week, but we are back, and the home opener here in week 3. How's the excitement been around the park?
I think there's a lot of excitement. I mean, we went out there Tuesday morning for the first time and kind of did a run-through on it, and we were, there's excitement. And once you get out there, though, it's back to football. You're still doing the same things that you were doing on the practice field, but it looks great. You get to watching film, and the practice footage gets up and the drone, and there's times where, man, you just start to take it all in. And so yeah, obviously we're excited. I mean, have made the point with the kids multiple times this week that what people are going to remember is what you do between the white lines and what you do on the turf. So hey, enjoy it. It's been it's a moment that you want them to take in and you want them to be a part of it, but don't forget, let's keep the main thing, and that's the product that we put on that turf and in between those white lines. And really looking forward to tomorrow night. I hope that it's a huge crowd. The weather's great. The weather's been great all week, and let's make some memories.
It's cooled off a little bit out there, too.
It's been awesome.
Has that adjusted what you guys have done? Because I know that you worked at 6:30 a lot of times over the summer, the first couple of weeks. So,
routine. I'm a routine guy. I think structure. I think when everybody knows what's coming for the most part and what the expectation is and what the standards you have to meet, and what a schedule is, it makes you more efficient. It makes you, it's easier to prepare. And so it's been great kind of getting back to the schedule that we've had for many, many years, a practice that has served us well. And, I think we've covered it on here. And, we were fortunate where we got the turf that doesn't have the rubber pellets, the black rubber pellets that has that infield that makes it so hot down there on the field, regardless. And, the feel that we were able to get stays 20 to 30 degrees cooler than that old type stuff. So,
and that's not the only difference in that old type turf either. You go down there and it's almost like a plush grass almost, as opposed to that little small thin stuff that it was when all of this came back with the St. Louis Cardinals, and you remember the days of Ozzie Smith and those guys.
Yeah, it's been great. I hadn't noticed, you worried, all right, what's the adjustment going to be here? We're going to be slipping in, I've been on just so many different turf fields through the years, and sometimes that can be an issue, and haven't noticed that being an issue with the field that we're on right now, and it looks great, and just excited, but it's been business as usual for the most part. It's just rather than head to the practice field, now you're heading right out there to the game field, and we get to play our first one tomorrow night.
Well, it's going to be a good one. It'd be good to get past those first couple. Of course, Natchitoches Central coach Jess Curtis, we know what Jess always brings with a ball club on here. But you open up against Karen Crow, which I think is ranked 8th now in the rankings, fresh off the semifinals. You finished second week 2 with a trip down to St. Thomas More. So it's been the start that we knew it would. It was going to be a difficult one. Certainly don't want to be 0-2 after those two, but you knew that you had a couple of guys that were going to come up and stand toe-to-toe with you.
Yeah, no doubt. Quality of the program, the quality of the coaching, expectation level of their kids, it's I've said many times, it's the type of people you want to play if you're a competitor. And that's no different than tomorrow night with what Jess brings to the table and all the success that he has had, and, the job that he's done. And you can see it showing up on film when you watch Natchitoches Central. But, speaking of those programs and Karen Crow certainly and the success they've had, throughout their history, but this last little,
that's right.
3-4 year run that they've been on, and they've been as good as anybody. And then, I think that you could make an argument that St. Thomas More, if it's not the best program in the state, it's certainly not far off being the best program in the state. The job that they do, the execution that their kids play with.
And they were without Hutch Swilly, who
Yes.
was an all-state running back from a year ago who had
Correct.
some hamstring issues. But
Got a
it's hard for
deep
me.
thigh bruise, I think, happened. No,
It's hard for me to find a better duo than Altman to Strother.
Yeah,
and they had other combinations as well, but that was
the
sweet.
quarterback was extremely impressive last week, and you go back and you're extremely frustrated, from the experience, and then you're trying to remove the emotion from it. And all right, let me turn on the film and let me watch, and just
Right.
do a deep dive into this thing, and remove the emotion, and all right, let's evaluate without all the emotion of disappointment and frustration that comes from something like that. And story of the night is 3rd and 4th down. I mean, their ability to convert on 3rd and 4th down, and just they did not have mistakes. They did not have anything where they hurt themselves. They just executed at an extremely high level. And I know for even me, it seemed like it was like, man, they're making it look easy, but the kids made them earn it. It was 3rd and 4th down, and the quarterback is phenomenal. I was extremely impressed with the quarterback and his ability to put the ball in every window and every spot that he needed.
Not just some of the windows,
yes,
every window.
He was extremely impressive, and then their staff too. I mean, I go back and watch the film, and you're watching it all. I'm watching their sideline, the way they're interacting. Just I mean, they are in tune. There are plays, and boy, you can see the whole sideline. I'm talking about the kids and the coaches. Everybody knew what was coming,
Right.
and just the level of anticipation. So, we certainly want to make these early tests, from, these 4 tests that we've had with Acadiana, then a rivalry, in all the motion that it brings in a jamboree, and then
Right.
these 2 programs on the road, and all 4 of them on the road, certainly want to make it serve us as we continue to get in this season that is a long season.
Well, Nick had some good takes on that as well. Nick, we'll bring you into your thoughts, and I know you had some questions about the game for Coach Bachman.
Yeah, well, first thing I'd like to say is after the 2 games, you're sitting number 10 in the PR. So, I mean, you probably don't look at that as close as I did, but, that's not a bad place to be.
Yeah, not this early,
Right,
but I'm
exactly.
with you.
But still, I mean, it's still something
Yeah.
to build on. Also, the fact that, I mean, you're sitting against a team, okay?
No,
Oh, sorry.
let's pull that out a little bit. There you go.
better?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just, it's up under you.
You're playing against a team to where if you drop in zone, coach, they find the open spots, okay? As soon as you step up in man, they do an out and go, I mean, so there's a lot of
Yep, they knew that we were going to be aggressive on some of that stuff. You're talking about the out and up that led to the first touchdown.
Yep.
If you go back 4 or 5 plays earlier, they
set it up.
gave him something. Yeah, I mean, and
right.
that's trying to tell the kids and all of them. I have a lot of respect. I mean, they're setting things up as well as trying to execute the play that's called. But they're gathering information and the quality of that staff from the press box to the sideline. There's every kid that it's accounted for with eyes on and how they're reacting and how they're fitting when the ball comes to, ball goes away, how they're breaking on routes, all that kind of stuff. They just do a phenomenal job, and they certainly got us on that particular play.
Right. Slow start again, but I mean, I know that's just, unfortunate that it happened that way. But to finish the half, you guys go score a touchdown after a turnover, and then you stop them on the 4th and goal to get some momentum for the second half.
To carry into the second half, and there's a lot that you want back. Obviously, if you could have the opening drive of the second half and go stick it in and make it 21-14, you're in a fight at that point. Maybe apply a little bit of pressure and just the inability to go put the ball in the end zone on that particular, and then they go score, and it goes from a potential 21-14 to a 28-7, and now you're back to that comfortable lead where you kind of have to press, and that your possessions are going to be limited, and there's just there's really no room for error at that point. With the way that they're going to execute, not going to give you many breaks at that point. There's just only so much football that's left to come back from a three possession deficit.
And it's tough when they continue to go, and with 130 some odd players on the roster, depth and fatigue wasn't getting them. You saw a little, in that Karen Crow game, looked like we started getting.
Our inability to stay on the field and sustain drives, played into that too.
Right.
You go back and you watch it, and of the first 50 clips of the game, we have not. The defense and special teams have been out there. They're third down, fourth down, they're converting. We go 3 and out on our first 2 drives, and so. Yeah, the momentum and the fatigue and the wear and just the pure number of plays. They ran 30 more offensive plays than we did in the night, and those are usually formulas when you look back at third down, fourth down conversion versus, and you look at number of plays. I mean, those usually tell you a lot about the ball game that was played, and that certainly was the story the other night.
Indeed, they did. A lot of good connections in there. JT had a really good game in there. What are the positives that you take out of that first 2 games against St. Thomas More and Karen Crow that say, okay, here's what we've built on and here's what we're ready for as the season goes?
More than the first 2 games, the way the kids responded to really being challenged this week and it getting really, really thick in pretty much every interaction from the morning to the afternoon, and their response to the challenges that were presented to them and the way the challenges were presented to them, the brutal honesty of the evaluations, getting them, we watched it all on, it wasn't a fun session. The film doesn't lie. And just their response to it and to see it today, it's been an intense week.
But don't you want that?
Absolutely. The kids are about this life. We talk about that all the time. Everybody runs around, runs their mouth, and it's easy to talk about what you're going to do. And then, you're either about this life or you're not when it gets thick. And very fortunate that these kids are. It's been a challenging week for these kids, and you can see some of them out there. Their smiles, they're here, they're hungry. They want the results more so than they're the ones doing all the stuff. They're the ones laying it on the line. Trust me, there's nobody that feels worse than the players in our locker room and the coaches in our locker room about the results that we're getting. And they're determined to do something about it.
It feeds off of those coaches here, and there are a number of them in here. I saw Coach Free was out here, Coach Mercer's out here, Coach OJ, Coach Russo. So a number of them are out here, and that's good to see. Speaking of hungry, get on down to Walk-Ons. That's where you want to be on Thursday nights. That's where we are live from Walk-Ons each and every Thursday night during the football season, from Jamboree to the state championship. We're going to be here. Coach, you've got a lot of you coaches in here. Are we able to talk to them?
I'm fixing to go get Coach Free.
Coach Freeman, the offensive line coach, and looking forward to speak to him. So let's take our first break.
Can't say enough about him. He is a phenomenal man, and I am blessed to call him a friend and a colleague, and can't wait for everybody knows him that's following this show. They know how incredible he is, but I can't wait for him to sit right here, and I'm going to go eat some food.
Well, you go do that. We'll get him in, and we'll do all of that when we come back. You're listening to and watching the Thomas Bachman Show live from Walk-Ons right here on 446 Sports. Nothing like the commercial not working for us to get back, but we are joined by Cedarian Freeman, Coach Free, as everybody knows him on there. Coach, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Look, it's he coaches the offensive line in case you're new to the program and don't know who Coach Free is. He is in charge of that incredible offensive line. Coach, it's one that through the years, and you've been around some good ones that have come through here at Ash, but and last year you had a job of replacing some guys that had been around a while. It was a newer group that grew together. Tell me about that from last year to this year and where your guys are at.
Well, last year, like you said, we had to replace some guys, and so we turned to some guys that we knew, as far as brains are concerned, that they had the brains.
Right.
We knew that they didn't have a lot of experience playing the position, and we knew that we were going to have some growing pains. But we knew also that when they finally gelled and when they finally kind of understood the position and what they were doing, that they would be able to handle anything that was put in front of them. And so half of the battle is being on the right person.
Explain to our guys what when you say brains, and we've talked about football IQ, and dispel that rumor that's out there that these guys on offensive line just hike the ball and go hit somebody. I mean, there's a lot that goes on down there.
There is a whole lot that goes on down there, and contrary to popular belief, you know, we're not just down there and going and hitting the first thing that shows. We actually have to put that puzzle together from the time that they get the play from the sideline and turn around and see the defense in front of them. They're putting a puzzle together on how to block it and block it the proper way so that we can get the best out of those particular plays.
When your guys are looking over, and we see before the play, they get to the line of scrimmage quickly, and they stand up and they look over, and you've got 2 or 3 different coaches that are signaling 2 or 3 different guys. You getting in blocking assignments, what at that point are you relaying into your offensive linemen?
Well, I'm relaying to them, so our signals are not as detailed as the skill position per se.
Right.
And so I'm relaying to our guys what we have to do to make that play be a success.
Now, you've used the H-back a lot in what you do. You've brought the tight end up on the line of scrimmage to do some things, and you've always had a really good tight end or an H-back that's been able to make that move.
Right, yeah, the addition of the H-back and the tight end into our offense as we've evolved, you know, me and Coach BACHMAN have been together for a number of years, and as we've evolved, the addition of the H-back and tight end has been an integral part of our offense. It's been a huge part of our offense and what we want to do, because there used to be a time where we wanted to throw the ball every play and score as many points as we can possibly score. Now, we still want to score as many as we can, but
right.
We also want to control that football for us as much as we can, give our defense a rest, allow our defensive coaches on the sideline to coach, and we want to kind of control the line of scrimmage and the time and all of that stuff. And so the tight end and H-back, that addition has allowed us to be able to do that.
Right.
Hey, Coach, what did y'all see going into the second half to where y'all put a second running back in the backfield, and you also started pitching the ball to the running backs? What did you see that would help your offensive line on that?
Well, I don't think it's so much of what we've seen. I think it was more so what we knew about ourselves.
Gotcha.
We knew that if we wanted to get our offense rolling, we had to get back to the root of what we do, and that's running the football. And if we could get the running game going, everything kind of grows off of that. And so that's what we kind of made up.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin.
Decision that we want to run the ball, we have to run the ball, and that's kind of what we honed in on as we came out of halftime, and just to try to put some points on the board and begin to erase the deficit that we were in.
That's music to my ears, because I'm an old fullback H-back, so no worries there. But we did see that difference, and you guys did. I mean, JT had a great second half, and y'all really ran the ball well.
Love a fullback. I love a fullback, man. We had some.
Agreed.
I love just to watch them play and what they do, you know, because they're a skilled guy that do what we do, and there's not many skilled guys that understand what goes on in the trenches.
You're exactly right.
How important is Cam Calderon to that offense at center? We saw him come on. He replaces John Saul from a couple of years ago. Cole, of course, was phenomenal his 2 or 3 years there. But how important is that center position?
It's the quarterback of the offensive line. I mean, we don't move. We don't from the very get-go, when they get the call, well, first he's setting the offensive line. They got to get to him, get lined up, get their eyes to the sideline. Once they get a play, they're hearing him tell us what kind of front they have in front of them, which tells them how we're going to block the front. And so from the very get-go, from the very inception of the play, he's leading them into what we need to do. And protection calls, I mean, he's doing all of that. And he's been a huge part of what we've been able to do over these past 2 or 3 years.
We had him on the show week 1, and just very intelligent, articulate, well-spoken.
Phenomenal.
And he's just an all-around great guy.
Yep, he's a phenomenal kid, man. He's probably a better kid than he is a football player. No, not probably. He is a better kid than he is a football player, and he's a joy to coach. He's a joy to be around, man, and I enjoy him. I don't know if he knows how important that relationship that we have is, but it is huge. And all of those guys, man, we got 3 seniors on that offensive line, man,
right,
that I want to say Brett Bain and Hunter Rivette came to us and hadn't played much football when they got to us. And it took a while for them to find what their niche was, but they found it. And they've been a joy to coach because you see them begin to transform into football players over the course of these 4 years in high school.
So getting away from the wins and losses and all of that, touch on that point again, because I've been around the program, no, not as long as you guys have a year on me for being around here, but you see a kid come in and he'll start in one spot, and when he's at seniors, like, gosh, if we just had 1 or 2 more years with this guy. So tell me just about the transition from that freshman or sophomore into somebody that's anchoring a line for you.
Well, it's all about, what naturally fits a kid, and that's all over the field. When a kid comes in to high school as a freshman, most of them hadn't played enough football to really know what they are. Most of them know what they want to be or what they've seen and what their favorite position is, but they don't know what they are, And so as we begin to watch these kids as freshmen, we kind of realize this is kind of what their skill set tailors them to. And as we watch them grow and then we begin to let them know or kind of push them into the direction that they need to go, because, we've been doing this for a long time and we can kind of see those things. And so when we make those switches later on in their careers, because this is what allows them to have the most success as a high school football player, and gives them the best opportunity if they want to go play at the next level to have that opportunity at least.
That's good. So we know the skills guys, the DBs, the wide receivers, all of that, love that new turf. How about those old linemen? Would they rather play down in the mud, or are they okay with the turf?
Now, if I'm being honest, man, if I can just go off of my own feelings as an offensive lineman, a former offensive lineman, it doesn't matter what you put us on, man. We're gonna go play the game, and it ain't a whole bunch that matters outside of the ball being hiked and us trying to, impose our will on another human being. So,
look, Nick hasn't been around us very long, but when you talk to these kids, do you see where they get their attitudes from? It's straight from these coaches.
Well, I'll tell you a story from Kevin Mawai, the Hall of Famer. He said he was a defensive tackle, and then whenever he went to his first college visit, the offensive line coach said, no, you're going to play on the offensive side of the ball. And he said, no. He said, I hit people, I tackle people. He said, I'm here to tell you, whenever you take a man against his will and move him against his will, there's not a better feeling.
That's right.
And that's how those offensive linemen think. So
when you get to the third and fourth quarter and you impose your will on another human being, and this is football, this is not walking around as a rep, and you've imposed your will on another human being, and that guy taps out, there is no greater feeling. I remember when I played at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, we were playing Grambling at Grambling, and I was when I played, I was pretty good at the position that I played, and so the guy from Grambling knew that I was getting some looks from the next level.
Right.
So he told me the play before, I'm going to go to the NFL off you, I'm going to go to the league off you. And so if you don't know, me and Coach Skipper played right next to it. Coach Skip played center and I played guard. And I told Coach Skip we had a double team on the next play. I said, hey, look, I don't want no double on this one. And I imposed my will on him on that particular play.
Well, that's good stuff, and we enjoy doing that. It brings back, and we have some. So, the original, I guess the first one that really settled into that H-back position was Shield a few years ago. And Week 10, we played West Ouachita. First round of playoffs, we played West Ouachita. And if you go back to the film, Shield just imposed his will that entire game. And so before the playoff game, the kid sees him lined up, and he's beat from the start. And you see him on the film running away from where blocked, because Shield would block you until the next play.
Listen, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody, but I've never had the H-back position. Shield defined it for us.
That's right. That's
he
correct.
defined that position for us, and he was an extension of us as an offensive lineman. He had that nasty mentality that Dylan Dozard and Cole Johnson had, and that was a fun time. And they were alpha males, I mean, there were times where we would butt heads, but I enjoyed what they brought to the game, and it's just trying to get these kids to get to that level, man. But
and they all played Saturday football.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I mean, that says it all.
That's right. That's right.
Coach Free, we appreciate you taking
y'all for
time
having
to sit down with us. Look, I've been after Coach Free the first 2 weeks on there, and he gets back there and hides. And as you can see, that's a difficult man to hide, but he does that. But I'm telling you, this seat is always welcome for you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks
there
for having me.
Coach Free joining us, offensive line coach.
Yes,
when we come back, we're going to take a visit with a couple of the other coaches. It is a beautiful night here at Walk-Ons on a Thursday night. It is the Thomas Bachman Show. We'll be right back right after this.
Looking for somewhere different for lunch? Le Bistro Coffee and Waffle Bar is a gourmet espresso bar and restaurant with an emphasis on Southern social experience, featuring a wide variety of salads, soups, sandwiches, and of course waffles. Le Bistro has something for everyone and every lifestyle. Whether you are meeting friends, spending time with family, or hosting a private party, we offer a dining experience all will enjoy. Le Bistro Coffee and Waffle Bar on Coliseum Boulevard.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk-On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
And we are back live to walk-ons on a Thursday night. It is the Thomas Bachman Show, and certainly appreciate Coach Free being here with us for a moment. But right now we've got two names that you're very familiar with. We'll let you know the numbers, of course, number 22, Jason Blackwell, and number 11, Mama Mingo, that is over there. They still call you that? Because I still call you that on there, too. All right, that's good. Jason, I'll start with you. And we've, man, what a progression watching you over the last 2 or 3 years. The way, and you probably tackle as well as anybody that we've seen come out of here. And it's been a growth over the last 2 or 3 years that you've done that. Tell me about that.
Well, for me, I just put my body on it. I just go do like the techniques that my coach told me, try to apply everything that they tell me, and just do, I guess, the fundamentals. And
you don't be so modest. You're around that ball every stinking time. I asked him if you're gonna get on offense too, and of course Mingo's like, no, he's not. So,
I wish.
But you're around it every time. I've not seen somebody go to the ball and seek to tackle since Jermaine McNeil. That's the type of player that I think of when I see, because we look around and there's 22. Look around on anything when there's a loose ball, there's 22. I mean, you're everywhere.
I just try to be a ball hog, like they say. I just go.
Well, indeed you go. Mingo, I know we've seen you play a little defense out there as well, and he was telling me that he thought 11 was out there. I was like, no, he's on offense, but we've learned that it doesn't matter what the situation is. There's a good chance 11's going to be on the field.
Yes, sir.
So what's your favorite? You love the offense. We know that. Like, the defense had an INT last year as well. What's your favorite part of it?
I mean, at my old school, I played a lot of defense. I went both ways. I mean, I like defense. I mean, it's like the other side of offense. Like on offense, you know what's going on. But on defense, you have to kind of figure out what's going on. I like that part about it.
Y'all go after each other, the ones and ones, the good versus good during the week on there. Has this matchup ever materialized out there on the field?
Every day.
Every day. So you're going after their guy. That's who you want. And it's hard to find the guy on that offense because you've got so many great receivers.
Right.
And then you've got JT in the back. I mean, there's just a number of it. But how do you stack up?
I try to stay away from him, honestly. I try to go after the ball.
I thought
like
you were going to tell me you take it easy on him.
Him, I can't tackle him. Coach not going to let me. I spare him.
It's a lot of fun this year. You guys have had some tough battles the first 2 weeks. But, Mingo, we've been through this before. Played Cancro and St. Thomas More first couple of games last year. Lost the first 2 on there. But you guys learned and grew as the season went on. Would you rather play teams that are going to be like that, are going to be in the state semifinals, state championship games, or ones that you don't grow off of and maybe you can get a big win off of? Where would you prefer to be?
We would rather be playing these guys that we're playing right now. Playing those smaller teams, it's not preparing us for what we want to be later on in the season.
What are your thoughts on that, Jason?
Same thing. Like we're not gonna gain nothing from playing teams like that, but teams that's like got a chance to be in a championship, playing them, we gain something from that.
How frustrating is it to go out and see a team like, and St. Thomas More, now don't get me wrong, probably one of the best teams in the state, without a doubt on there. And there at one point in the second half, you come out, you cause the fumble, or recover the fumble, I think. Didn't you get that? Of course you did. Why wouldn't you have gotten that? I look up, and there he is. You get your first touchdown. Then you stop them on the 4th and goal, get out of there. And short of a possession is 21-7. A couple of things happened from there. But you measured up well against them.
Right.
So what do you carry into Natchitoches Central in week 3? And I know the opponent, and you guys are, it's week 3. It's not necessarily who you're playing on there. But after that first 2 games set, coming back home, playing on that turf, how excited are you to get back out there and go get it?
Oh, I see that's in the hit. Well,
I got you.
I'm pretty excited. I've been waiting for a long time to play on the turf, honestly, be the first group to play on the turf, so that's pretty exciting. But, St. Thomas More and Cancro,
right.
Those teams, they was exciting teams to play against, but, we came up short, and, it's pretty aggravating. But, they just give us something, we got something to motivate us. We got something to prove, basically, man.
That chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
That's good to go in there and play with. Mingo, tell me a little bit about that turf. How has it been practicing on it? And you guys have played on turf. I mean, in those Northeast Louisiana games, everybody has turf on there. And a lot of places you go, St. Thomas, it's turf, but it's your turf. You know, this is your field now. Tell me about that.
I mean, we're proud to have turf of our own now. I mean, it helps with a lot. Like those days when you get rained out, we can still go put in some work. Like, it helps a lot with the team. Like, we just ready to go out there and defend and come out first game. We started off rocky, but we're ready to get back on that track and stuff.
Well, and Coach Nick talked about it a little bit earlier, too. I mean, you guys, and Coach Bachman won't talk about it. Other coaches will talk about it, and I know he doesn't want you guys. But last season, the record wasn't the greatest it was, but your power rating was really high. And that shows that you're going out and playing those types of teams on there. So I just encourage you with this. That's over with. It's a long season out there, and you guys have a lot of great football ahead of you. I've got to believe that you know that.
All right.
So how has Ty worked into the offense? How is it, because now it's your second quarterback that you've worked with in a row, how has his addition been to the game?
I mean, when he first came, it was a lot for him, like putting in all our offense, like, so he was kind of slow, but now he's starting to come along, he's starting to get all the plays frequently, like he's comfortable in the offense now.
Is there ever any issue with you guys? Because, I mean, there's not enough footballs to go around with EJ and Jimmy and Washington and Jalen, of course, and then JT running like he does, and yourself. I mean, it's difficult to get that football around everybody, but you guys just look like you pick each other up all the time.
Yes, sir. As long as we're moving the chains, we all win.
How is the conditioning on you? Because you guys are going faster than I've seen you since Coach Ben was over here.
I can't even explain it. We go to practice at 100, 100, 100, 100, 100.
You don't get anything off.
And if it goes slow, you're going to end up on the sideline.
You don't mean, Nelly, if you take off down, they're going to get you?
Nah, Coach Bachman's going to get you.
He will. How is it defensively having to keep, because you guys have to play that tempo every day as well?
Well, we, like at practice, during warm-ups or before warm-ups, we going at it, and, play after play after play, he keeping the pace up. And if we moving slow or not fitting our reads, we're going to hit the sideline just like they do, running gashes back and forth until they satisfied. Get back on that, and they're going to do it all over again.
What do you guys leave with, as both of you seniors this year, to that younger class that's coming up? Because you got a lot of good talent that's coming up through the ranks. But every time we've talked to seniors that were here before that left a little something for you guys that you looked up, but you're the seniors this year. So what are you trying to do on the field and off the field that leaves a legacy for those younger players? Mingo, we'll start with you.
I just want to say, just go out there and play with all your heart. I mean, high school is like no other. You don't get these opportunities back. Like, high school is just a game that, like, you're going to love forever. High school football is like no other. So just leave it out on the field. Don't save nothing to be like, man, if I would have did this when I was in high school, if I would have did that.
Jason?
I say just don't be selfish. Like, do it for your teammates. Me, I'm putting my body on the line for you. I expect you to do the same for me.
What do you, I mean, go back to you being around the ball at every point, and that's instinct. You can't teach that to somebody. You can't go up there and say, look, I want you to be around the ball every single time. That's something you got to learn. Do you see the other guys look and say, look, I'm going to work like him. I want to do that?
Well, it's just something that I've been playing since AAA football, and that basically my uncle encouraged me to play football, and I fell in love with that, and I also wanted to be great, so I just, I'm undersized, I've been dealing with injury, so I had something to prove, so I just go out there and play.
Well, and that's what I heard. You played injured a lot last year, too. And this is the first year, really, that we've seen 100% Jason Blackwell out there. I know you got a little banged up last week, but I don't believe there's anything that would keep you out of the game and off the field.
Nah.
That's exactly the answer that I wanted to see. Guys, looking forward to a big night tomorrow night. First game on the turf, but first win of the season. We need to go out there and get spots always open for you guys anytime. Jason Blackwell, my Mingo. Guys, thank y'all so much. There you go. What a tremendous group of guys that are out there. As always, we'll get Coach Bachman back over here in just a moment. Coach Nick, we'll get him back in here as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get Coach Bachman back on the headset, and we'll do all of that. We are live from Walk-Ons on a Thursday night, brought to you by Saddlers Towing. We couldn't do anything without the Saddlers. We'll be right back after this from Kimberly Harrell, Certified Appraiser.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. It's hot out there, and we want to cool you down with some great savings on your new AC unit. Right now, you could save on a new energy-saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Plus a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Just need a repair? We got you covered too, with $50 off any repair backed by a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
I'm Jason Hall with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices. With the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
And we are back live at Walk-Ons and just roll them in. What a tremendous night it has been. Coach O.J. joins us here, defensive line coach on there. And, Coach, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be on.
It's always glad to have you on here. Look, I've not seen crowds like we've had the first 3 weeks out here. And it's not anything to do with what we're doing on here, but it's just a great group of folks that are out here.
Yeah, we have a good fan base. People that's been with us for years now, and they continue to support us, through everything we've been through.
How does the preparation for week 3 go? And I know you got it short-minded, but for 2 years in a row now, started behind the 8 ball and 0-2. But it's teams that are going to go deep into that playoffs as well. Both of them semifinal teams. When we asked the guys earlier, but what do you as a coach take out of that?
We want to play good people. Anytime you play teams of that caliber, it can go either way. We want to play teams like that to prepare us to be prepared for later on in the season. So we look forward to playing teams of that caliber.
You guys have ran in a few of the defensive linemen that, of course, that Jeremiah Jeffers-Wright is going to anchor that defensive line. But you've ran in a few other guys that have been out there. Nelson's been out there. Tell me about some of those other defensive linemen.
Got juniors, Elijah Nelson and Jordan Mason. They've been putting in work for a few years now. Elijah came in, as a freshman. You can see he had a natural feel for playing defensive line, and had an injury his freshman year, but he's just continued to get better year after year after year. And then Jordan Mason, he started off as an offensive lineman, but he's kind of athletic kid, and we need a little more depth in that class, and so we moved him over, and he's one that's getting better every day as he realizes what he's capable of.
That move of Aiden Walker wasn't a bad one either, getting him down on the defensive line.
No, absolutely not. I've been telling him since he was a freshman he was going to be down there. So, yeah, I love having Aiden Walker down there with us. I mean, he's been a grinder since day #1. I mean, he loves football. He breathes it. He loves the weight room. Like, he loves everything about it, and he is one that I was glad to add to the room.
Indeed. So, at halftime last week, we come in and y'all switched jerseys on Jeremiah, and we don't find out about it until Jeremiah's mama messages me the next morning because we're calling him. I think was it Richard, who's the number that he had. And so know her very well, and she's always been a fan of the show and what we do for the long time. And so she said, "Hey, just letting you know that they swapped numbers on Jeremiah at halftime." I'm like, "Dadgummit."
We were really confused.
Yeah, it got his jersey got torn up. I mean, he's been playing in that jersey since we first ordered those, so they've gotten 94 has gotten a lot of mileage on it.
Indeed that it has, but tell me what your defensive line is looking for tomorrow. You know that any team that is coached by Jess Curtis is going to be firing off and ready to go and ready to play that physical style of football. What do the Trojans bring to that?
Oh, it's what we do every day. That's what we're built around. We want to play tough physical games. I feel like our guys enjoy the game more the more physical it gets. That's why we put the Acadianas and the Karen Crows and those guys like that on. Cause there was a time when that wasn't true, but now they do. They look forward to those.
Coach. Well, Coach, I'm glad we interviewed Aiden earlier in the year. We interviewed Jeremiah, and I'm glad that they're louder on the field than they are in person. I tell you, two guys with that tenacity and those motors, and them to get up here, we have to tell them to speak up. They seem kind of shy. But,
Jeremiah is extremely soft-spoken. He is extremely soft-spoken, but when you finally break through his shell, he has a whole lot of personality. And Aiden Walker's the same way. Like they both have a lot of personality. They're just very soft-spoken kids.
And I'll tell you something else. You may want to put him in 92 tomorrow because
that second half he was on fire.
STM, saw the difference in the second half, but we sure did in the booth.
So another one of your alumni that's not doing a bad job is down in Baton Rouge right now. Do you still keep in contact with Jacobian?
Yes, we still keep in contact. We text back and forth every now and then. When he comes to town, he'll reach out. I actually went and watched him play in the celebrity softball game over in Pineville that was put on by, I forget his name. But
Ford.
Cody Ford, yes, Cody Ford. But yeah, we stay in contact, and he was excited about this season and what the opportunity he had in front of him, and I'm proud of him.
We're able to go down there, and we saw him on the sideline and got to go down and talk to him because we'll go down on Saturdays and cover the Tigers down there. And to see him come up, he's always the first one. And he's another one, Nick, that when he got onto the show, I mean, you had to get it. He was very personable, but he did not speak the way that he played because they play with such a high level, and you can see where it comes from. Coach OJ, I mean, one defensive practice to go out there and watch. You guys, y'all don't tone it down at all.
Oh, absolutely not. I think you got to be prepared for what's coming on Friday nights. I mean, when your goal is to be playing in Week 15, you're going to run into all sorts of teams, into all sorts of adversity, and so you have to put the kids in adversity Monday through Thursday so they're prepared for Friday nights.
How do you those that are going along, some of them have been there, it's an 0-2 start, and somebody might look around and look at the record and go, man, what's wrong with Ash? This is going to be tough. But anybody that looks inside the game goes, you know what? These guys are poised and ready to go. You guys took on two of the best teams and went toe-to-toe with them, and that's got to make you feel good as you're moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, the competitor in you wants to win every one of them. But you play STM, you play Karen Crow, two very good football teams. You know there's a possibility you might not get that W. But we're going to continue to play people like that. We're going to continue to compete with people like that. And our kids look forward to playing people like that.
One thing that does come around week 6, there's no surprises. I mean, you get into arguably one of the toughest districts in 2-5A in the state with the Rustons and a West Monroes and Ouachitas and the like. But, I mean, you've been there, done that. You've seen it before because of the way the strength of your non-district schedule is.
Absolutely. Yeah, we, it was a few years ago where we ended up having a schedule where the pre-district wasn't as good as we would have liked it to be.
And,
you get punched in the mouth when you finally run against the people who are also looking to play in Week 15, and so it's something we never wanted to do again. So we want our kids to be prepared when we roll in the district, knowing that you got those guys like Ruston and West Monroe that you got to be prepared to go play.
Well, it doesn't get any better or any easier as you've got Natchitoches Central, then you got East Ascension following that before finally at home at Green Oak. first time to be at home. Is everybody excited about getting out there?
Everybody's excited, especially us. We've been loading that trailer up every week. It's going to feel good to just pull our stuff outside on the sideline.
Look, Coach Bachman told me that's not the only trailer y'all been loading. He said y'all been loading up in practice this week and getting after it.
Oh, yeah. We've had a really good week of practice. I feel like our kids have responded well, turned the heat up on them, and from what I got from my kids, they enjoy when we turn the heat up on them.
They do, Coach.
Yeah, I was actually drove by Menard on my way here, and I saw their coaches out marking the field. And I said, I know Coach Bachman and all the coaches are glad they don't have to worry about that. But,
we've already forgot how to paint.
But I will tell you, you use the field tomorrow to get extra people in to the crowd, and then you win them over by you play.
Absolutely.
Use that to get them there. Everybody's going to want to see that new turf, but when they get there, then you guys put it on the, play well on the field, and you'll have them coming back every week.
Yeah. Nobody will remember. Everybody will remember what the score was from tomorrow night's game. They won't too much remember that it was the first time on turf.
That's right.
Well, Coach OJ, great to have you on the show as always. I know you're looking forward to a big night tomorrow night, and we'll be right there with you as well. So thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
There you go. We're going to take our final break of the evening. When we come back, we'll have one of those lightning segments with head coach Thomas Bachman, and we'll do that right after this. You're watching the Thomas Bachman Show right here on 446 Sports.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family. For all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
See, I'm having to push the buttons myself when I get worked up into it, and that's one of those things. We're back for the final segment. And, Coach, man, it flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's been a great night.
It's not
best show we've ever had. I said, I got back off air. I said, best show we've ever had. Oh, I agree, best show ever. I was like, all right, I ain't been on the show in 40 minutes. Now I know how it really goes. Which, hey, I'm all good with that.
But, Coach, see, I know how much respect and love you give to your coaches and your players. So
Absolutely, that's genuine. That's genuine. That is the truth, man. And I have no clue what y'all talked about, but two phenomenal men, phenomenal young man, and Jason Blackwell, and yes, I bet you it was incredible. Hopefully, anybody watching, y'all got a chance to get to know those guys just a little bit more. Got a chance to share their heart, who they are, and that's I know how much respect I have for them, how much I appreciate them, both personally, professionally, the camaraderie that we have amongst our coaching staff and the job that they do. I know how fortunate I am and how blessed I am just to get to work with them every single day. I see it every day, what they give to each other, to the kids, to me, and it's an awesome thing.
Well, let me tell you, when Coach Free was on, it's kind of like a fraternity, I guess, with those halfbacks and all. I mean, fullbacks and tight ends and such, because he found out that Coach Nick was a player, and he was one of those big bodies. And I just sat back over here and
let him
listened
go,
to him
huh?
go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Coach, you probably won't like the offense that I used to play in, but I tell you what, it was good hearing him talk about the H-back, and let's hit some people.
Hey, no doubt.
We talked about kind of where the H-back position, first saw it back when Shield really was into that and kind of defined that role here. And you guys have done a lot of that. As a matter of fact, we talked about you don't throw to the tight end much at all. And lo and behold, last week that became our our Southern Air cool play of the game. We're going to watch it. Take us through that one real quick, Coach.
We actually used a timeout, just saw, structure that they were playing. They were getting that free safety more towards the Twins, playing over the top of Mingo and, fitting that run hard. And, and just they got nobody there, give it a little out. We had been running several, we had been presenting that structure and that particular play and just slipped the tight end right up the seam, and he's unaccounted for, and pretty straightforward touchdown there.
Run it back and let them look at it again. But what we like so much is
just zoning the front side, lock the back side, and, let Tanner slip.
And that was so good to see. And, those tight ends, you can hear him over there from the press box. See, Coach, give me the ball. Throw it to the tight end.
Yeah, well, I tell them all the time, you're going to get your opportunities, but that ain't purpose number one of why you're in the game. You get yourself on the field by what you do in the run game and how you do blocking, and then that adds that. They're fitting the run on that allowed him to, so the ability to run the football, create some easy opportunities. And, Tanner, Grayson, both those guys, do bring that to the table. And as we get deeper into this thing and we get more and more comfortable and, we begin to execute at a higher level and just, there's, Ty's only been here for so long with us, and he's getting more and more comfortable every single day. And if you're not executing, you can come up with all the plays in the world. You can come up with all the things, but are you executing at a high level? You go back and, not to jump in, you go back and you break down St. Thomas More, and they execute at an extremely high level, and it's not as much as you think it is. They're presenting it to you in a couple of different ways, but there are concepts being repeated, and the quarterback is distributing the ball to the guy that's, same concept, you're covering it this way, and he is the one holding you accountable. And, so as we continue down this thing and we get more and more, comfortable, I hope that becomes a bigger part of the offensive attack.
We talked to Merce before the game down there on the field, and he's talked to us about the differences. He said, with Karen Crow, you've got to prepare for about 80 different formations. He says, with St. Thomas More, you got to prepare for about 4 or 5, but they're going to do those 4 or 5 really well.
Yeah, no doubt. They're really, really good. Really impressed, as we've said, with the quarterback and the play that he was, and he was a difference maker. And then they made plays that, out on the edge. The throwing and catching is very, very. It's done at an elite level, and they've been doing it a long time. Shane is one of the best in the business. I a ton of respect. I mean, that's just the truth. And yeah.
And that play right there. Now you have defensive coordinators going forward that have to respect that as well.
Yeah.
Now talking about film, will you watch now? Will you watch any of Manny's film from last year because they're coached?
No, I don't. I don't have any Manny film from last year, and but I have. We're going to watch everything that. Yep, we're going to watch everything that we have now. Get a feel for it. What offensives have they played that, are similar to us, and, how they're doing things. But it's not that we wouldn't. I just haven't. I don't have any, Manny film to to break down or to analyze and all that stuff. I mean, we're in week 3 now. You've got a scrimmage, a jamboree, weeks 1 and 2. I mean, there's plenty to evaluate. Not only structure, what's personnel, where are the difference makers across the field for them, and they certainly have some on both sides of the football.
Well, one of the difference makers from last week's game, of course, and it's almost like a broken record, but our Quibitos Player of the Week from last week is JT Lindsay, who just had a phenomenal game, couple of touchdowns, some more big runs. But the emergence, I mean, we saw JT last year doing what he did, but this year has really come on.
Yep, only going to continue to get better with every game played, with every rep taken. He's going to continue to improve because the fire burns deep in that gut, and he does it when nobody's watching. I mean, there's a desire and a hunger to be great, and obviously people saw last week, and they've seen for years back when he was a freshman, when he gets loose, he's hard to catch because the kid can really run.
Indeed, he can, and he does a great job of catching the ball out of the backfield. We've seen that screen working really well, too, and that's a big addition
big
to
conversion
already
last
receiving.
week. Yep, had a big conversion on one of those last week, and
right.
Ready. He needs to be ready to go tomorrow night. him and several of them. EJ's played extremely well, and both weeks 1 and 2, and
saw a little more of Jimmy Duncan last week as well. And there was a formation in the backfield when you had a couple of running backs back there. A little bit of a wrinkle.
Yep.
What did you see to go to the toss to JT in the second half? You just wanted to get him outside?
It's the same concept. I mean, whether we're tossing it, I mean, there's several different ways we can present that same concept for the guys up front and how we're doing it. Several different ways we can present that to the defense, but it's just one concept, and it's just people want to key the depth of where we put the tailback and how we do things, but we can run all our schemes from multiple. So some of that's just tendency breakers of tailback deep. Oh, they're running inside. No, we can get the ball out on the edge. And, so we're going to tweak it each and every week of just how we're going to present a lot of the same stuff to the defense.
Gotcha.
So week 1, week 2 in the books, getting ready for week 3, and it just culminates. You guys, we've talked through the years, too, about getting a little bit better each week, learning a little bit better each week, and everything we've talked about, these guys that we've talked to a lot in week 1, 2, and 3, and their mindset is just as focused as this coaching staff that we've seen. They're ready for week 3. We get into Natchitoches Central, and not a disrespect to any opponent that you play, but they're ready for the game inside themselves, and they're ready for week 3.
And that's the thing, I mean, it's internal. The real scoreboard is internal, and if we walked off the field, the past couple of weeks feeling like we had put our best foot forward, and sometimes you got to tip your cap. Hey, they did all that they could do. But as you watch the film, and we go through the accountability of, hey, there is a desire for us to know that, hey, there's more that we can do.
There you go. Yeah, so the mic that you have kind of separated, and that's why I had it holding up, but you're good. Let me hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better on there. Coach, last season, all year, tremendous crowds out there. What do you say? And we always make this statement. You can watch the game from your phone in the bleachers. You can watch it afterwards. Get out to Alexandria Senior High School. Get somewhere and watch some football. But the crowds that you've seen, tell me about
weeks 1 and 2, I've said this around the field house. I've said it to the administration. I've said it to a lot of people. I feel like we've had great crowds on the road. These have not been, right across the river short trips that we've had. I mean, they've had to get in a vehicle and drive, 2 hours, and we've filled up, both visitor sides of the, this area in Alexandria is just, boy, they're hungry for us to deliver a winner and something to, and I'm telling you, I just believe that the best is in front of us. We've had some great moments through the years, but the best is in front of us. And, just keep showing up, keep hanging in there with us, and we're going to make good on the support that you're giving us before it's all said and done. I mean, I just feel like there's such a hunger that if we'll just continue to scratch and claw, that this thing's going to bust wide open. And the support has been great, and I can't wait. I'm anxious to see it tomorrow night.
Look, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've talked a lot about the turf, and we've talked a lot about but it's week 3. Trojans are 0-2. They're hungry and ready to get back out there, and that's the only thing at the end of the day that's going to matter. Because if you're 0-3 on some new turf, that ain't what you want.
No, that's certainly not what you want on any playing surface. I don't care if we're playing in a parking lot. Not what you want. And tomorrow night's going to be another tremendous test for us, and I'm sure they're going to come in and they're going to be ready to go too. And I can't wait to get into the game and begin to mix it up and watch our kids compete.
Well, we're going to be on the air early. I know there's some festivities planned, and so we will go on the air in accordance with that. If it's at 6 o'clock, if it's at 5:40, whenever it is that the festivities start, we will carry them because it is going to be a special moment down on the field. We know there are a lot of special moments coming this year, but that is certainly one of them. So we invite you to come out to the game. Get out there early. Parking's going to be what parking is. Watch the game Friday night afterwards. Watch it Saturday morning with a little breakfast out there, some eggs and grits and such, and just have a good time. But get your behinds out to a stadium, and if you're not a Trojan fan, if you're watching us from somewhere else, get out to Pineville, get out to Tioga, get out to Menard, Buckeye, anywhere around here, Peabody, Bolton, and go see some high school football. Because it's not just the players, it's the band and the cheerleaders and the support team. And you got these folks that are giving their hearts. You can watch this broadcast later. Come out and see this thing live. Coach, looking forward to tomorrow night. Thank you so much, as always.
Absolutely. Right back at you, man. Glad to be doing this with you.
Well, it's a pleasure, and it's a window that I don't want. Oh, did I say windows? Sorry.
Coming soon. They're coming.
They are coming.
They're coming.
It's a great show tonight. Certainly not going to say it's the best we've ever had. I'll never say that again, but it was right up there. The crowd may have been the best crowd, though, that we've seen since a little crowd in 2020. Great participation tonight. We encourage you to come out and join us here live from Walk-Ons where we're at tonight. From our man Nick Magnano, Coach Thomas Bachman, I am Doug Gann. God bless you all and good night. We'll see you tomorrow night at Butch Stoker Stadium.